All right, cheers. Skull. Prost. That's what the Germans say.
Chin.
That's what my grandma said, 'cause she's Italian.
Just why you no eat the food?
Well, she was from Northern Italy, so she didn't do the babbity boo. Bibbity bobbity boo.
Spicy ragu.
Can I just tell you something about my grandma? So we're not talking about my grandma for the whole episode, but so my grandfather.
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about the Naisome Hanashi. You know, people want to hear our Naisome, how we met our wives, but I'm going to tell everyone first
how I met my grandma.
Oh, my grandpa met my grandma. Thank you very much. But yeah, so my grandfather was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in Trieste, and he found this cute Italian girl that did not speak English.
Hey, I found a cute Italian dame. I'm gonna take her home.
They got married, and she thought he was rich because he had a military company car, you know, that was like black. And when they got home, she realized he was a poor farm boy.
Oops.
No, but what was fun? But so they moved to the South and stuff, and they also spent time overseas or whatever. But
yeah,
my grandmother, right? So she moved to the States.
Yeah.
Probably in the 40s or early 50s.
Okay.
She moved to the States in 40s or early 50s.
Damn. Okay, so your family's really new to the U.S.
Yeah, so my mom's side of the family, yeah. I mean, my mom's dad has been like, his family came from Canada. They've had multiple generations in America, but she was new, right?
Okay.
So, so she had been in the United States since like the early 50s. And I think she died in like 2020. No, I think it was before COVID even. Maybe 2019 or something like that.
Yeah.
But so she lived to be really long. And she never spoke English well. She could speak English, but she had such a thick accent. And she would always say like strange things. And especially when she got older after my grandfather died, I think she kind of got homesick for her homeland. So she would like sing fascist Mussolini songs in our house and stuff like that because she grew up. Well, what was funny is she told me like she had two sets of identification because when she was a school teacher and she would walk through the mountains, right? And at that time, the fascists and the communists were fighting each other. And so you didn't know who was going to stop you. So she had two sets of ID, one communist and one fascist, to like show whoever it was, you know?
That's beautiful.
It was amazing.
Did she have a passport with a little swastika on it too?
The swastika is German.
Oh, do they not use swastikas in Italy?
No. There was a picture. The fascist is like a bundle of sticks.
Like a fag?
Yeah, that's where the word comes from, faggot. Yeah. I'm not using it as a swear. YouTube, you don't need to blurt it out. It's a bundle of sticks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, my grandmother, so she always kept her Italian culture. And so when she would do cheers, she'd say chin chin because that's what they say in Italy. And we can get into what we were talking about originally.
Nothing to do with this at all.
What are we talking about? Well, actually, kind of does a little bit.
Kind of.
What are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about dirty, disgusting foreigners.
As we see on Twitter.
Being here in Japan.
Meiwaku Gaijin. And how we feel about it.
Yeah. So, this topic has been something we've danced around in the past, and it's something that I find really interesting.
Because Austin and I are the goody two-shoes pick-me Gaijin. That's why. Well, I am. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of follow the rules.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, keep on going.
Yeah. Anyways, so like the reason I brought this up that I wanted to talk about this because what I see is something that I've seen in the past, like, you know, with my experience, it's like in the military, you have this term called adjustment disorder, where you can get it either in the military or when you get out of the military and you're returning to civilian life. It's people who, because of some mental issue, they struggle to adjust into whatever the new society they joined, or they don't want to.
Yeah.
And so they stay in their term, or they stay into like what they know, right? And so like, you know, I'll give you an example of like the second one, because I think it's a little bit more relevant, because I don't want to say that all foreigners here have mental health problems. A lot of them do though, but
yeah,
that's another topic.
There's a reason why they left.
But so a lot of military guys, when they get out of the military and go back into civilian life, they love clinging to like the jargon and the mentality of military life.
Yeah.
Right. So they'll use a lot, like I said, a lot of jargon, a lot of like military lingo, and they'll tend to like associate themselves with other veterans, right? And because of that, they kind of end up like being social outcasts. And I see the exact same thing with foreigners here.
Oh, you do?
I see the exact same thing because it's like, how many? Maybe I'm asking the wrong person because you don't go out much.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that fit the description of foreigner that doesn't know any Japanese and has no Japanese friends, but they love Japan and they live here? They've lived here for a while.
And can I tell you, they always say that they're studying Japanese and that they want to learn Japanese, but they never learn Japanese.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But like, look, I have never studied Japanese in my adult life. I've not one day have I ever sat down with a textbook and go, okay, I'm going to study Japanese. But I've picked up on it, and like at this point, like I can speak conversational Japanese. Like I'm not fluent, but I know enough I know enough Japanese that like I can communicate in my daily life. But I'm talking about people who like literally the most basic interactions here in Japan, they can't speak, but they've lived here in Japan like 10, 20, sometimes 30 years. They're married to a Japanese woman. They have kids. Like they love Japan.
Yeah.
Like it's not a question of people who don't like Japan.
Yeah.
They love Japan, but they refuse to assimilate into the culture here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know a decent amount of people like that, and I choose not to hang out with them.
Yeah, and like we all know people like this. And my question is, why does that happen?
Yeah.
Why do we have that? Because it's really interesting that like I'll give you some context, right? So in Canada and America right now, there's a lot of people from China that move over and they study at university in the US, and they end up settling down and living there.
Yeah.
But these Chinese people coming over, many of them don't take the time to learn English unless like they need to for their job.
Yeah.
And they spend all their time with other Chinese people, and they hang out in Chinese communities.
Yeah.
And they're like we had a girl doing homestay at my house when I was a college student. She fit this description. She was from China and studying and everything. And I talked to her about it. I was like, Xing, why don't you have any like American friends? And she's like, I don't really care about America.
Yeah.
I just like living here.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay. I mean, fair enough. It's like, I get it. It's like, but it's weird because if you talk to people here, like if you talk to foreigners here, you'll never hear that.
Or they won't say it directly.
Well, what I mean by is like you never hear foreigners say, I hate Japan, but they live here.
Yeah.
It's like every foreigner that you talk to loves Japan.
Yeah.
Like maybe they might have criticisms. Like I have a lot of criticism about Japan. I love this place. I wouldn't think of any other place in the world that I want to live. But they live here, but they don't interact with the culture at all.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I can kind of speak about this because, you know, the thing that drew me to Japan wasn't necessarily anime and manga. Of course, that was like the first thing.
Yeah.
But what really kept me interested was the traditional culture and values from like the Edo Jidai, Bushido, and like I really like ukiyo-e growing up and stuff.
Yeah, but like here's the thing, like do you really interact with that in your daily life?
But here's the thing.
Okay.
So I really like that. So then I came to Japan and I didn't see that anywhere.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I was kind of disappointed at first. And now, you know, where we live, I'm not going to say where this studio is, but I live in the burbs. The burbs, which is like, hey guys, this is just like,
spoiler alert, everybody, we're in Tokyo. Big surprise.
No, man.
The place that we talk about all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, so now, like, because I've been thinking about this in my life about how, you know, I actually, so before when I would think about Japanese culture, I used to think about the traditional Japanese culture, kimono and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what do I think about Japanese culture? I think of like the chain stores here, like Don Quixote, and like I think of actually a lot of like Showa period stuff,
Honestly,
pop culture stuff.
like Showa culture is, I completely agree. It's exactly what I think of when I think of Japan.
Yeah.
I don't think of like old.
Yeah.
Like when I think of like old Japan, I think of Kyoto.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like a bubble around Kyoto.
Yeah.
That when you go there, it's like, okay, you can appreciate like the older traditional stuff. But then outside of that, like even going over to Osaka.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, boom, Showa Japan.
Yeah. And it's funny because I actually went to Kyoto for the first time in about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I went back, it almost felt like I came up above the surface for air again. I was like, oh, this is the thing that I really liked about Japan originally. Oh, I want to be here longer, Yeah. And it's not necessarily like, oh, I hate where I live now, because objectively, if you can assimilate into the culture, it's safe, it's clean, food is good or food is decent.
Yeah.
The cost of living is not too high, and it's very easy to live here. Things just work well here. So I mean, I have that, but the passion that I had before is not really there. Because
it's dude, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Right. Like people ask me why I like Japan. That's like a very common question that you get all the time, right? And it's really hard to put that into words because like I usually say the daily life, but what I mean by the daily life, I actually mean like
the green car.
The green car. I shouldn't ride it because it's expensive.
Yeah.
Man, that's
it's nice.
It's such a beautiful time. But no, it's really like that Showa Japan, like this is a up and coming society. There's like this positive like growth going on everywhere. It's these safe neighborhoods for family raising. It's celebrating with your coworkers, like that kind of mentality. Even though Japan's kind of moved on from that, it does still exist here. And I think that's what a lot of people, when they move here, they end up falling in love with.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just really don't see that in the US.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember so this kind of goes into our episode about how Americans are more fake than Japanese people are. Because when you look at like not just the news, but if you look at the media, and a lot of people say, oh, the 1950s were really great, especially very conservative people were like, oh yeah, the 1950s were so great.
Fucking sucked, by the way.
I know. They were shithole. They think it's good because they watched Leave It to Beaver and they think that's what life was.
Yeah.
So that was the ideal,
like sterilized, like snapshot. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I feel like in the States, when I went there at first, it was kind of like the message everyone was saying of who we are and what we actually saw on the ground was so different. It really confused me at first. Whereas here, Japan's great. The food is great. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because like your experience in Japan really is just kind of like what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we finished the bottle.
Finished this. Chiaki, this was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
I'm going to put this on the floor, not out of disrespect, but actually, I'm just going to put it on the table here out of you. That's better for us.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like I was saying, I lost my train of thought. No, come back.
So living in Japan is really what you get.
Yeah. Okay. So it really is what you get because your expectation, unless you're like some anime weeb that's like, oh my God, I just want to see underage girls all the time.
Let me live in a
Stop. Go away. If you're a person who's like interested in Japan and you take like 10 seconds to learn about what it's like here and you realize not everyone is a 11-year-old or a 2,000-year-old like moon goddess that's in the body of an 11-year-old wearing a kimono every day. When you move past that and realize that like people...
No foxtails?
No foxtails. When you move past that and realize that, like, this is how people live, it's like really honest with what you get from it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's all good, but it's like, it's very honest with how things go here.
Yeah.
Like, You as soon as you move to Japan, I think within the first month, you can understand about like 80% of how society works here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. It's like, you got to do a lot of paperwork. It sucks. Work sucks. Your daily life, not so bad.
Yeah.
Food, pretty cheap.
On time, you can call if you have the convenience store that haven't been sitting there for hours.
Yeah, you have like a lot of like really nice conveniences. There's also things that sucks, but like it's really easy to understand how things operate here. So I think like when foreigners come here, it's like they don't necessarily fall in love with like what people think Japan is, but they fall in love with how Japan actually is.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I think, I mean, I fall under that, right?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it's kind of like, objectively, this is my best option.
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily for me, it's like a passion thing. This makes the most sense. I could move back to America.
Yeah.
Of course I could. But, I mean, I remember like going back to America, I was going to drive to go visit my friends. And the road was under construction, and so they had like the gravel that's underneath the asphalt. So you'd boom, and then you're back on the asphalt again. And I was like, man, the roads. Roads are, it's funny because people also talk about how the cost of living in Japan is so high, and it's probably because they have a car, because cars are super expensive here.
Yeah,
when you think about the car insurance you have to pay is like double what you pay in America, and also. The inspections, I remember you could get inspections in America for like $100.
Yeah.
And here like $200, $300, And then for my in-laws from Niigata to come to Tokyo, cost them 5,000 yen to take the highway. Where it's funny because like going into New York City, which is comparable, costs you $20.
Mm-hmm.
And that's New York, if you want to take the main way. But like most other places, like $4, $5.
I mean, if you like, I'll give you a comparison. So, I'm from Seattle and I've done the drive from Seattle to San Diego.
Yeah.
Dozens of times. Mm-hmm. Many, many times I've done that trip. It's a long trip. It takes about 20-ish hours, depending on how much you want to stop for. Like I've gone no stop at all, where just drive 20 hours straight, where I'm drinking like 4 or 5 Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
You should stop after about 6 hours of driving.
Yeah.
And there is no tolls at all.
Yeah.
The only cost for that is the expenditure of gas.
Yeah.
Right.
But in Japan, the roads are so nice.
Yeah.
They're so smooth.
Yeah.
And whereas in America, you get that,
yeah,
it's just,
you definitely counter that. Should we bust out the next stuff?
Yeah, we should. So, for those of us who are watching, I was in Kyoto for the first time in a year. I mean, I went to Fushimi Inari, and Austin, you've already had one of these before.
I have.
These are kind of like the ozeki cup sakes, but they have a nice little ochoko on them. Do you want the junmai or just the daiginjo?
What do you want? I'm partial to daiginjo, to be honest, but I'll go with both.
I'll do the daiginjo. Because I'll drink the junmai by myself then. Because I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. That's such a weave thing, man.
Huh? No, I was thinking of Team America.
Oh, Team America?
What were you thinking of?
I don't actually even know because I haven't watched Team America before.
Well, you've never seen Team America?
No. So can I say something about Team America? So my dad watched that with my sister, and there's like a scene with terrorists where they go Durka Durka Muhammad Jihad, right? So at the airport, my dad, he's at like customs, and he just starts saying that to my sister, Jerka Muhammad Jihad. And like, my sister's like, Dad, you're going to get us into like jail, whatever. Oh, man. So wonderful. This is like a nice little cute capsule, it's great. Oh, yes. All right, there you go. All right.
Ooh, that smells good.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice mix for you, man.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, I gotta tell you. So this is actually Gekkeikan, which is like the old. Well, now it's changed a bit, but
you gotta try this, man. This has the most amazing rice flavor at the end.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Just wait for that little thing to kick in at the end, and it's got that the okomete taste.
Well, that's
so good.
Well, the thing about this Gekkeikan, right?
Yeah,
is like for years, this was like the only sake brand available in America. Like whenever you go to liquor stores, they only had Gekkeikan, which is actually from Fushimi Inari, that area.
Yeah.
But no, this is good. I like it.
It's great.
So,
all right,
we were talking about
I want to transition.
Yeah.
Into being a woman.
Do we bleep that out, please? I'm sure a lot of our viewers will like it, but I don't want to get political.
Anyways, I'm gonna change.
Skip it. Yeah,
I'm gonna change. Oh man,
you can tell we
sterilized
a little bit too much, man.
Okay, so here's what I want to talk about, because there's this term called Gaijin smash, and I was actually really surprised I had to explain this to you, because I feel like this is something that like foreigners learn immediately upon moving to Japan.
Yeah,
and it's a term called Gaijin smash, and maybe some of our Japanese viewers know about this, maybe they don't. If you're married to a foreigner, you ask them about it, probably they know what it is.
Yeah.
So Gaijin smash is a term that explains basically you as a foreigner live here in Japan.
Yeah.
You're aware of the rules here, and there's a lot of rules here in Japan, and you just can't be bothered with following the rules for whatever reason, like it's bureaucratic, or you're just kind of tired of it and you don't want to deal with it. Like, I'll give you an example, is like garbage, right? It's like there's protocols for how you're supposed to do with garbage. Some places you can kind of just be like, I'm just going to throw everything in one bag and put it out.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the right thing to do, but it's a Gaijin smash.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, you know the rules, but you break the rules. And then if you get called out, you're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a foreigner, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? The key point is when you break the rules, someone calls you out, you can say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. And specifically, you're lying. You're aware of the rules. You just don't want to deal with it. And you're hiding behind the fact that you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
To kind of like get away with it.
So I pretend I don't speak Japanese sometimes when strangers try to talk to me.
Sure.
I don't want
I do it all the time. Like someone knocks on my door. It's like, my default response, if somebody, I just say, hello. That's usually like a dead, like, all right. Oh, sorry. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
It's not because I want to break the rules. I just stop fucking knocking on my door.
Yeah, you're just tired of it.
I don't like.
Just get no Jehovah's Witnesses away.
No soliciting should be a thing in Japan, because it is obnoxious the amount of people that knock on your door. Anyways, but I find this term really frustrating.
Gaijin smashing.
Yes, I find it really frustrating because, not like I'm a little bit. I'll admit I'm a little bit of a hypocrite with this, because we just gave an example of like when we use it, right? And I've used it many times in my life, and I think every foreigner does, but like there's a lot of people who will, like, the only way I can describe it is they rebel against Japan.
Yeah.
And
we talked about this over lunch. I don't think it's necessarily rebellion. I just think it's like you're just tired and you don't want to follow this one type. That's not a rebellion. That's more just like a, come on.
It feels like rebellion for me. But my point is there's people here who just refuse to adjust, right? And it's like you'll see it with guys that are married to Japanese women that their wife handles everything.
Yeah.
Right? You'll see it with like I'll give you like an example is like not paying your taxes for months or even years, and then the government's like, dude, why haven't you paid your taxes? And then it's like you give the example of like, oh, well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Visa. Why haven't you fixed your visa? Oh, well, I didn't really know. And it's just like, come on. It's that kind of thing. It's like you see this like really big anti-foreigner wave right now.
Yeah.
That's kind of washing over Japan.
I would say though, it's not necessarily because of the Gaijin smashing though. It's because of deeper.
Sure, but it fuels the hatred. that's going on here. It's like when you as a foreigner like choose to hide behind the fact that you're an immigrant here and not follow how things are done, it fuels that like stereotype here that we're just bumbling buffoons. We don't really know what we're doing. We need constant hand folding and mommies coming in and helping us like do everything. And it's just like, I find it really frustrating.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand that, but I feel like the biggest issue, like we talked about earlier, is how, I have a Twitter account, an X account.
Yeah.
It's so weird calling it X. I'm just going to call it Twitter forever.
No, I refuse. I'll always call it Twitter.
Yeah. So I have a Twitter account and I see all these posts about Meiwaku Gaijin, and all these people breaking rules and stuff. And I think what's really bothering people is it's the tourists coming in who treat Japan like Disneyland. Like I've talked about how Japan is like the Disneyland of the world because it's so safe and kind of cloistered and stuff like that. But a lot of people, like, they come here and the funny thing is people talk about how like people leave markings on the tori, the Shinto gates and stuff like that, and how that's so bad. But the thing is that everywhere in the world, tourists have been doing that. Like in the Parthenon in Athens, like the big stone building, you have people's names written everywhere.
Well, so
and so like I think what's happening is because
Japan's is catching up
because of like the weak yen, more people can come to Japan. And so you're bringing like a lower class of people, lower level of people who are causing problems.
Bringing the poors in.
Okay, I will talk to you about class if you want, because it's not going to be popular, but class really does exist. Money doesn't necessarily buy you class, but people live in different worlds. And so
it's so true.
Yeah, so like before, when Japan was more expensive, you had like a certain level of people coming in who are more respectful. And now you have the people who are coming because it's cheaper, so they can afford to come. But those people tend to not be very respectful.
Yeah.
And they cause a lot of problems. Like I remember seeing a guy doing pull-ups on one of like torii gates in like Fushimi Inari.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing like pull-ups, And it's funny because
that's not good.
If you don't understand the religion, because Japanese religion is so different from Western religion, you don't really understand the symbols. Like if they go into a church or a cathedral,
they would never do that.
They would never do ever, because they understand that.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Japan, there are no cathedrals. Everything's open air.
Yep.
And so it seems like a park. So people don't
kind of like a play area.
Yeah. People don't understand.
Yeah. No, it's so true. I'll tell you a really common thing that you always see is people just assuming that everyone speaks English here. Like that's another thing that you always see.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it didn't used to be like this. Like I remember back in the early 2000s, like, and I'm not even speaking specifically Japan, but like, you would get these people that want to go backpacking in Europe. And what is the number one thing you buy when you go to Europe is you buy like a translation book.
Yeah, right.
And so you like my image of like a tourist touring in Europe, and not even like an American tourist. You see this with Japanese tourists too. It's like the tourists are always walking around with like a little translation book, and if they're interacting with a local, they're making an effort to like communicate with them in their native language.
Yeah.
Right? You never see that here in Japan anymore.
Yeah,
if you see tourists, they're always walking up and predominantly speaking in English. Like, can you tell me where to find the that one big building with the big fat man in it and Asakusa? Can you tell me where that is? You know what I mean? It's like I feel like there's just like a change in maybe it has to do with the classes like you were discussing, but there's definitely a change in how tourists interact when they come to Japan, where it feels like there's very little effort being made of respecting the culture when you come here. It's like, look, I'm going to make an effort. I don't know anything about Japanese, but I got Google Translate right here.
Yeah.
And I will try to say the words in Japanese,
Yeah.
right? You don't see that effort being made anymore. Now it's like, I want English right now. Give me English.
Well, I mean, I think that actually has to do with the type of people that are coming, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Those damn tourists.
yeah, I wanted to pull this up just because, oh yeah, perfect. So I've noticed this because I'm part of like Italian travel groups, German travel groups, and I've seen something unique in Japan travel groups. So yeah, Chiaki, you can pull this up if you want. So what people do is they will go to Japan and they will buy tons of things, and then they'll buy 2 new suitcases at Don Quixote, and they will just take pictures of all the things that they buy. So let me see if I.
It's weird, man. We've never talked about this on the channel, but we've talked about this in private. It's weird.
Is this up? Okay, cool.
We got it?
Yeah, so if you look at this, like someone did a haul where they went to Japan and they brought all these things back.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people are saying like, oh yeah, look at all the stuff I bought. This is so cool. Like here's another one.
Yeah.
I was like, look at my Japan haul. I bought all of this stuff, like all these candies and stuff. And so, but you don't see this in the German travel group, but it's almost like
it's Disneyland.
It's Disneyland.
It's Disneyland. Like, what do you do when you go to Disneyland? Look at the cute little plushie and all the little snacks that I got at Disneyland. Look at my Minnie Mouse ears. Yeah. It's Disneyland. It's Disneyland for tourists.
Yeah, and so people treat it like Disneyland. Yeah. So they don't actually think about, like, a lot of tourists when they come here, they say, I love Japan. It's so clean and so nice. It's so peaceful. But you
know what's weird though? Is like I get that it's different in Europe because like as white people, Europe is very familiar with us already. So I don't feel like there's that as much novelty when you visit Europe. Whereas like Asia is completely exotic for a white person because it's like the culture and everything about the places that you go to in Asia is like so different from what you're used to. But you don't see this happen in like Korea and China.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Korea from the angle of like K-pop.
Yeah, no, but
not that doesn't really have anything to do with Korea though, right?
Yeah, well, this goes back to like it's the anime nerd.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends, so I'm going to collect things and figures and stuff like that. And just like these, like the people, they come because they see Japan as like their playground, but they don't actually understand the rules. And to be honest, because of this, we're already over time, but going to Kyoto now, it's really hard for me to go to Kyoto.
I hate going to Kyoto, man. Well, I don't want to go.
Well, so when I started going like regularly 5 years ago, it was great. But one, there's so many foreigners, but not just that. There's so many like signs.
Yes.
To say foreigners, please don't do this. Please don't do that. Yeah. Please stop this. Like,
it just sucks.
I remember, what was it? Like I went to Fushimi Inari for the first time in a year, and they had a sign that said like this is a place of prayer. Please don't eat inside. Like they had a sign clearly in the front, and people were just walking by with drinks and food and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was another sign that said, some people will come up and ask you for money. Please don't. And I'm like, oh man, there's so many foreign tourists, and now there are even beggars coming in because, like Japanese people don't necessarily give money to homeless people.
Yeah.
But Western people do.
Yeah.
And so it's bringing that in. I'm like, oh man, this is.
Yeah. It's just like, I always talk with people and I say I feel lucky because so I got married in 2023.
2023? Oh, is it on your ring?
Yeah,
oh, that's so cute. I just have my wife's name on my ring.
Oh, that's correct. I'm a little drunk.
Austin is looking at his ring while he's drunk. And his eyesight's getting worse.
Dude, my eyesight has gotten worse so much. Okay, I thought it was crazy. Why do you gotta question me? It was 2023.
Sorry.
I knew I wasn't crazy.
Sorry.
So I got married in 2023, and that was at like the tail end of COVID.
Yeah.
Right. And so my wife and I, before we got married a year ago, just to kind of scout out places of where we wanted to get married, we went to Kyoto in the summer of 2022. And that was like still like high COVID season.
Yeah.
I think Japan was still under lockdown at that point, so there was no tourism coming in. Kyoto was the most amazing experience of my life. It was so great. There was nobody there. I mean, there was Japanese people coming, but like it's like the amount of Japanese people compared to tourists coming is like not even comparable.
Yeah.
Like there was no lines anywhere. There was no crowds, and it was a wonderful experience. You know, you went to my wedding.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like hanging out in Kyoto was so much fun. And then
The deluge came.
then everything opened up again. And then it's like, it's a theme park now. And it's like literally going to Kyoto is like you're waiting in line, just like you're in Disneyland waiting for like a ride.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like you have crowds everywhere. You get on the bus and it's like there's like 60 people packed on these tiny little buses. And it just sucks.
Yeah.
It's so terrible.
Yeah, it's just weird because I go to Kyoto and I see more foreigners than Japanese people now. But anyways, guys, if you have some interesting stories about Meiwaku Gaijin, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
And
I think if you have any if you have any opinions on this, like especially to people who are like married to foreign people, let us know what your experience is. Like, are you married to someone who doesn't like really participate in Japanese culture? And if so, why? Or if not, you know, like talk about like what you guys do. Cause like the thing is like, look, I don't expect you to be fluent in Japanese, right? Japanese is a hard language to learn. The culture is vastly different from our own. Like, it's not something you can easily assimilate into, but you can make an attempt to interact with your coworkers. You can make an attempt to interact with like local traditions and customs here. And especially if you're married to somebody who is Japanese, like, I feel like you have an obligation to participate in the culture here.
Yeah.
But you just don't see it in a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I'd like to know, especially if you have foreign friends who live in Japan, how much have they integrated into or whatever. But yeah, we're already over time. There's a lot more we could say about this. Maybe we could do a part 2. If you guys want part 2, let us know.
Part deuce.
Man, next time we have to be a little bit more sober before talking.
No. We need to bump up the racism.
All right. Yeah, man.